Okay, so we did up to E, where we did the form and the subform. So now we are going on to what we call queries. And queries are where we can use tables to pull out information that we require according to a criteria, and we can sort the information. So let me show you the very first one. A simple query, which is a simple query to list the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of all car owners who the company has not paid for rental of their cars. Name this query simple query owing. Sort this information in alphabetical order by last name and then by first name. So you have to keep in mind what information they want. So they want a name, phone number, and email addresses. They want to know if they paid or they didn't pay. Remember, we have a field called rental paid, which is a checkbox that we tick off yes or no, right? So what we do now, we go to our access, you go to create, and you go to this query design. You click on query design, and this is what will come up. You double click on each of your tables to bring them up. And this is a simple query, but I want you to pay attention to something underneath here. So this is how we set up our query. The first thing we do is select the fields that we want and the table that it is coming from. We have a sort feature where we could select ascending or descending. We have a show feature. So if you want to hide some information, you can click it to show or unclick it to hide. And we have a criteria, like for example, since they want to see all of the people who rent was not paid, we could indicate that in the criteria field. And I will show you how we're doing it, right? So the first thing that they wanted was the names of the owners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the owners table up here, double click on last name, double click on first name. You notice the information is coming down at the bottom here and filling it up. This is going to create another table for us with our query, right? So first name, last name. Let's see what else they asked for. First name, last name, phone number, email address, and rental paid. So phone number, we have phone number, email address, and rental paid, right? So they want to see an idea of all the people who has not gotten rent paid. So under criteria in rent paid, I'm going to go on that same row that has criteria and I'm going to type in no. That will give us all the people whose rent was not paid, right? And then they said they wanted sort the information in alphabetical order by last name and then by first name. So we go to last name and then we click ascending and then first name and click ascending. Now I'm going to click on cross tab first and then I'm going to click back on select and run this query. And when I run a query, I got two people only who did not have their rent paid. Notice that I have two boxes here are not ticked off. I'm going to open back my owners table just to make sure. And it was two people, right? Number 5 and number 2. So this query is actually correct. When I decide to close the query now, it's going to ask me if I want to save. I'm going to click yes. And then I'm going to save it by the name that they asked me to save it, which is simple query owing. So I'm going to just paste that here and I'm going to click OK. And I have my first query here, which I just did, and that is the query for I, right? And that is it.